Prompt engineering is an essential skill because it enables users to craft queries that guide AI models more effectively towards desired outcomes, ensuring clearer, more accurate, and useful responses. It also helps in navigating the limitations of AI, such as context window constraints, by optimizing the information presented to the model for better performance and relevance, which is exactly what I will show you in this video. Some of the major topics that I will cover include ChatGPT 4 with subscription, the prompt console, best practices for prompting, writing better ChatGPT prompts, and I'll talk about plugins, GPTs, enhanced features, the context window, and prompting limitations. To level up as a ChatGPT power user, focus on projects, plugins, web search, and custom GPTs. Let's start with projects. You access your projects here on the top left sidebar, where you can open and close your past chat. Under the chat section, all your previous chat available. If you want, you can rename any past chat. Just click the three dots here on the right and rename whenever you want. To create a new project, you click on the new chat over here, and then you start adding new chats. Plugins in ChatGPT have been deprecated. I just mentioned them so that you know that you should not be using them. There are new features that supersede plugins, for example, web search. Web search is a feature where ChatGPT can search the web and get fast, timely answers with links to relevant web resources. I'm going to use a custom GPT that converts text into an ICS file. That's a calendar entry. I just select the text, then click on Explore GPTs. Search for ICS and start a new chat. Paste the text what was copied earlier and paste it. Just a few seconds and your file is ready to download. I import into my Google Calendar, and there it is. All that planned activities into my calendar. I use the custom GPT to save me some time. Talking to a longtime friend feels easy. They know you well and how to speak to you. That's exactly what ChatGPT's next two features offer: custom instructions and memory. Let's start with memory. As the name suggests, ChatGPT can now remember details between chats, making responses more personalized. You can create memories by simply asking it to remember something. As you can see, ChatGPT tells you that the memory has been updated. But how do I inspect the memory? Go to Settings, Personalization, and you can turn on and off the memories. Or you can go to Manage Memories and see in the list all the memory instruction. Next is Custom Instructions. They let you share info that helps ChatGPT give more personalized responses across all chats. You can turn them on or off anytime under Personalization. Just click Custom Instructions to fill in details like your name, preferred traits, or anything else ChatGPT should know. In the Advanced section, you can also toggle some capabilities. By combining custom instructions and memory, you will get better and personalized responses from ChatGPT. Multimodality, structured responses, formatting, and file uploads. Until now, we've only worked with text. But what if I could do more, like create an image of a tropical beach at sunset? In that case, ChatGPT switches from using a model like GPT-4o to DALL-E, which is specialized for generating images. One thing that's important to know is that when you provide a prompt, ChatGPT uses itself to generate a more detailed prompt which you can access easily. After when the image is done, just tell the ChatGPT, I need generation data, and you already able to see to refined prompt. What about using images as part of the prompt? Which also means that I can combine different types of inputs. For example, I use an image about how to lose weight. I paste it in ChatGPT, and then I add a text prompt. Describe what you see in this picture, which if you think about it, it's amazing. As you've seen, ChatGPT listed all the food what he saw in the picture. What was the point being that? I was able to combine different types of inputs, and the AI model was able to understand the image and answer according to the text prompt. Now let's talk about format, because having only large blocks of text or even bullet points is not very convenient. I'll use this prompt to get some output that I can use. Make a list of the 10 best beach towns in Florida. And now, instead of a list, I'm going to ask to create a table with two columns. One, the name of the beach town, and the other column with the distance to Tallahassee, Florida, which is the capital of the state. Now I have a table which I can actually copy-paste if I wanted to. But instead, what I'm going to do is to generate in a different format. Export the information to the table as JSON. A few moments later, I get a JSON file generated. And let's take it up one notch. Aside from the ability to generate files, I can also upload files to ChatGPT and ask questions about those files. For this demonstration, I'm going to use a file that I've actually been using quite a bit for the last few months, my nutritional plan. And you may have noticed that's not English. It's on purpose because I want to demonstrate how ChatGPT has multilingual capabilities. I'm going to use the following prompt from my nutritional plan: how many calories can I consume per day? I attach the PDF file, which is my plan in other language. In this case, this was a very simple question, but go ahead, try it out with some of your files, and you'll be surprised with the outcome. As a side note, there are some limitations that you will run into, especially when working with larger files. Navigating and mastering the ChatGPT console. Basics, model selection, and context. That ChatGPT console is more than just a chatbot interface. It includes a set of features and tools that enhance the user interaction, allowing you as a user to get better outputs from your AI models. As you most likely already know, to get started, you navigate to chatgpt.com, and you're able to use it locked out if you want to. Let's test with what is a prompt. Using the free version of GPT is actually not too bad. However, there are many advantages of using the paid version. So I log in and use the same prompt, and immediately I notice that the output seems a lot better. Why? The answer is pretty straightforward. When you log in, you're using a better AI model. Now let's see this very useful functionality, deep research, which basically what it does is that it uses reasoning to synthesize large amounts of online information and complete multi-step research tasks for you. It basically is like having a very smart research assistant that can do in a few minutes what would take you hours or maybe even days. And finally, in this section, the model options. Just go to the top left corner, open the menu, and you will see what models are available. Each model has a specification that you can see next to the name. Coding, Canvas, and Advanced Data Analysis. ChatGPT is a powerful tool for coding and data analysis. You can ask it to write code, generate tests, create sample data, and more. Let me show you how. To create a code snippet, simply ask for it. For example, create a code snippet in Python to calculate monthly payment of a loan based on an interest rate and the number of years. I can then continue the conversation by asking something new. For example, using the code to calculate interest based on a loan amount, rate, and term from a CSV file. I also ask for the output in a sorted table. What's interesting is that I'm combining a text prompt, a file upload, a specific output format, and asking it to run code all at once. And yes, I generated the CSV using ChatGPT. Now I just drag, drop, and run it. After a quick analysis, it gives me the result. This is prompt engineering at its best. Now check out this next feature. Most of the coders use almost all the time. It's called Canvas, and it's a new interface for writing and working with coding projects with ChatGPT. To get started, you need either a trigger, for example. Let's work together on creating a Python application using this code. Or you can tell to the ChatGPT use a new canvas. ChatGPT will then identify that this is a good scenario to use Canvas, and it will open it and start writing the code. Now this is the application that it generated, and now look at this. Let's say that there's a part of the code that you want to modify. So you request a change. In this case, I just want a message when there's 0 interest. I request that, and ChatGPT will go line by line modifying the code. It's worth noting that you don't run the code interactively. It can help you generate the code. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to ask for a visualization, a simple one at this point, just showing the amount of interest paid versus the original load. It analyzes and it creates the visualization. And finally, let me just show you one more. Create a unit test for the function. It will again open Canvas. I'll modify the code and create the unit test. If you need to work on some coding tasks, I bet that you will be using Canvas all the time. Best practices for effective prompting. There's an old saying that goes like this: do it well or don't do it at all. That's why best practices matter, because they provide proven, efficient, and effective ways to achieve the best results. Here are the 5 best practices that you should apply for effective prompting. Number 1. Be clear and specific. Take a look at this prompt. Tell me about the origins of AI. This is pretty vague. I mean, I could keep on talking for hours and hours if someone asked me this, but what if instead I am clear and specific? Tell me the greatest breakthrough in AI that led to the popularization of this field. This is a very clear and specific prompt. It's asking about one thing, and you know the answer. It's deep learning. The next best practice is add context. So for example, instead of just saying, "Give me marketing advice," which again, it's not very clear and specific, why don't you modify it like this? You're a marketing consultant for tech startups. I need advice on how to best position my SaaS platform for video publishing. This adds context and asks something specific, making it a stronger prompt that leads to a better answer and a clear, unique selling point. The next best practice is break down complex requests, which at the end of the day, it's just common sense. Basically, what this means is that instead of a single prompt, you can break down a complex request into multiple prompts, adding context, which would allow ChatGPT to create a better response. Here's an example. I tell ChatGPT I run a small e-commerce business and ask for a full marketing strategy, social media, SEO, email, and more. It's actually a big request. But what if instead I start by telling it about my e-commerce business, how we sell, and what we want to do, increase sales, and brand awareness? After that, you ask one by one the best social media marketing SEO tactic or anything you need. This will lead to a much better response. The next best practice is use examples, which I will cover in more detail in the next video section. Advanced prompting techniques. And finally, iterate and refine, which is what we do all the time. We provide a prompt, and if we don't like the output, we tweak it and we try again. Advanced prompting techniques. Here are 5 advanced prompting techniques. Starting with zero-shot prompting, which involves giving a clear and specific task without any examples. It relies entirely on the model's pre-existing knowledge. For example, list 3 benefits of remote work, and I get a very good answer from ChatGPT. This is simple, fast, and effective for straightforward tasks. Next up is the few-shot prompting, where you provide a few examples to guide the AI model towards a more accurate or creative response. Look at this prompt. I ask for brief explanations of concepts like variable and loop, each with a one-line definition. Then I ask, what is a function? Without examples, I'd get a long answer, but with samples, it replies exactly how I want. Function, one-sentence definition. Then instruction prompting, which is when you clearly explain what kind of response you want, including format, style, or tone. Look at this prompt. Explain how to lose 10 pounds of weight in simple terms, using an analogy that a 10-year-old would understand. You use instruction prompting to guide the AI's response, ensuring clarity and relevance. Prompt chaining, which involves breaking down a complex task into smaller and manageable steps, feeding the output of one prompt into the next. Take a look at this example. List 3 common marketing challenges for small businesses. And when it's done, I continue with a follow-up prompt. Now provide solutions for each challenge mentioned. These multiple techniques together, it works a lot better. And finally, prompt tuning, which is the process of adjusting and refining your prompts to get better, more accurate, and more useful responses. Which, if you think about it, it's pretty much the same thing as the iterate and refine best practice. If you apply these advanced prompting techniques, you will get higher quality responses from ChatGPT, which will improve your productivity, and overall it will make you look better in your work, your research, or whatever it is that you're using ChatGPT for. Understanding ChatGPT's limitations. ChatGPT is really great and powerful, but there are a few limitations that you need to take into account because they can be anywhere from an inconvenience to get you into trouble. Let's start with the context window, which defines how much information ChatGPT can keep in mind during a conversation. This limit varies by model. When it's reached, new input causes older parts to be forgotten. If important details are lost, the response may become inaccurate or incomplete, since ChatGPT no longer has all the relevant context. Next up are hallucinations. When the model generates false or misleading information in a confident, convincing way. This can lead to poor decisions, financial loss, and reduced trust in AI systems. If accuracy matters, always double-check and ask for sources. Finally, there's bias, which can lead to discriminatory decisions, legal consequences, and reputational damage. Like other AI models, ChatGPT may reflect biases present in its training data. However, ongoing efforts aim to make AI development more fair and ethical. However, ChatGPT is still a possibility to make your life easier. And with this, I want to thank you for joining me on this course. If you liked, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.